welcome back to my homestead. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. Happy New Year. And I am beginning to do my preparation for this big celebration. Now, a little story. New Year's celebration is probably the biggest holiday in my old country. Still is. But just to think, back in early 1920s, it was discouraged to celebrate Christmas and New Year's. And in 1929, it was made illegal to celebrate Christmas and New Year. And they had patrols patrolling the streets, peeking into people's windows. Do you have a Christmas tree? Are you singing carols? You better not have midnight dinner with your family. But then again in mid-1930s, the government changed its mind, I'm not sure, and they actually began to encourage to celebrate New Year's. So then this turned into the biggest holiday. And we as people might have starved a month before and a month after, but we put the best spread we could possibly afford on New Year dinner table. So today I am beginning to do my preparation, and I'm going to be salting salmon, or in my culture we call it the red fish sometimes. Because if you guys have ever had those little mini bagels with cream cheese and salted salmon sandwiches, oh so good, you know that salmon is delicious and very buttery and very soft, and yet very expensive. So I can show you how to be very frugal and make your own delicious food at home for much, much cheaper and much, much better. So the ingredients we're going to need for salting salmon is the salmon itself. And try to buy salmon that's already in a fillet and it's already clean, but the skin is on and there are no bones. If there are any bones, make sure you remove them all, because this has to be a clean fillet. Now I'm going to be cutting off this portion here because it's really not that much of salmon on it. So I'm just going to trim the little piece like that, but I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to save it actually for my other recipes. So I have about a pound of salmon here. Okay, what else do I need? I'm going to need a container where I'm going to be doing the salting, and this is a glass container. Make sure it fits, and it's going to fit for my size. I do not recommend plastic, but a glass container is the best. And then we need to make the ingredients where we're going to be salting. And for my 1 pound of salmon, I'm going to need 2 tablespoons of salt. And I encourage you guys to use something bigger, more coarse salt rather than very fine. And make sure it's not iodized salt. So Celtic salt, sea salt, Himalayan salt is good. So I have 2 tablespoons of salt, and I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of plain white sugar. And I have done salting without sugar, and I find that with sugar it comes out much better, much softer, so I prefer that. And then you may add, and this is optional, a little bit of pepper. Now if I had white pepper, I would have used white pepper, but I don't have white pepper, so I'm just using black pepper, but it's okay. And that's it, my friend. I am not putting anything else. I know sometimes people add lemon or dill, not at this stage. So all I have to do right now is I need to put a little bit of this salt and sugar on the bottom, okay? So each side gets salty. And I'm going to be putting some on top as well. And I need to make sure that the sides are covered as well. Now, because my piece is a very thick piece, see how thick a fillet this is? This might take about 18 to 24 hours to salt, because I don't like it extremely salty, okay? I like it to be more on a mild side. But if you have a very thin piece, let me show you a thin piece of, where is this? So if you had like the end tail type of thing, and see how thin this is, this will be done in 12 hours. But mine is thicker, so it's probably gonna take 18 to 24 hours. If you choose to leave it longer than 24 hours, just keep in mind your fish will be saltier, and you may or may not like it. I don't like it very, very salty. Okay, so I covered everything with salt and sugar solution, and I'm going to put a cover on. Okay, and I'm gonna put this in my refrigerator till tomorrow. Okay, friends, so now it has been 17 hours. 17 hours since I salted my redfish salmon. And I tested a little piece and it's perfect. So at this point, I'm going to remove it from the salt. And the fish released a little bit of juice as well. Let me take a look and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So the fish has released a lot of juice. You see that? All that liquid on the bottom? And now I actually need to rinse a little bit of this extra salt that was remaining on the fish. Just a little bit, just to sort of rinse it out. I'm not gonna wash it or anything, just little brief, kind of like quick rinse. Okay, and then I'm gonna dry it. Now, this fish is good to be stored and used in the next 3-4 days, and it's going to be stored in my fridge. So it's going to be perfect for my New Year table for my hors d'oeuvres. All right, I still see a little bit of flakes of pepper left, but that's quite all right. Just dry it quickly. Okay, now with a very sharp knife, just shave a little strips of fish, leaving the skin behind. Okay, it doesn't have to be very perfectly cut, because for the recipe I'm going to be using it for, it really doesn't matter if they're in a perfect shape. So let me just cut another little piece and I'll show you what I'm going to be doing with this wonderful salted delicious salmon. So the salmon is very popular to be served on a New Year celebration table in Russia. So one of the recipes you can do is take along cucumber slices with the vegetable peeler and put a little bit of spread. This is plain cream cheese with a little bit of fresh dill, nothing to it. I'm not putting any salt. Why? Because there's plenty salt in the fish itself, and I'm not putting any pepper. Again, why? Because there's plenty of pepper in the fish itself. Okay, so I just put a little piece, and now I'm gonna, oh, let me move this so you guys can see it. And now you roll this up. Now, if I was making this for a group of people, under normal circumstances, I would be wearing gloves. But right now, I am just doing to show you guys and for me to test it. Look at this, isn't that pretty? So you serve them standing up, just like this. So friends, here are my little hors d'oeuvres that I made using salted salmon that I salted myself just 17 hours ago. And even though the piece of fish is quite thick, it still was enough time to salt all the way through in 17 hours. Isn't this beautiful? And it's so much more cheaper and more frugal to do it this way rather than buying $25 per pound of smoked salmon. Now, of course, this is not smoked, this is just salted, but just as delicious. All right, friends, now I really need to test this bad boy, okay? So good. Fresh cucumber with tiny little cream cheese, salty fish. It's delicious, but it's not over salted. It's very mild, very pleasant to taste, okay? And it tastes like butter. Tastes like butter. So friends, I hope you guys are encouraged to learn to salt some fresh salmon. It's not so difficult at all. Save some money. Make those tiny little hors d'oeuvres. Put them on a table, turn some music on, light some candles, say goodbye to 2020, and welcome 2021. So I hope that you guys have a blessed new year. Be encouraged and try something new.